Hey guys, it's Cote here, and I'm just going to do that introduction every time because that's the only thing I can think of whenever I get behind this microphone. So anyway, I've got a lot to talk about this game, and this game is really long, so I sped it up a lot, and I got a lot to talk about in a little bit of time. So be sure to stick around at the end of the show, or at the end of the battle, for a little after show where I'm going to talk about the direction I want to take my channel in. So anyway, I'm battling a guy named Daniel, and he leads off with a steel type, a Registeel I think it was, and I have a Heatran, so obviously he wants to switch out, so I just decide to set up Stealth Rock, and he goes to his Elf, and I switch, and as he sets up a Reflect. Blissey doesn't care about Reflect because it doesn't have any real physical attacks that actually do a set amount of damage, so I decide to just T-Wave and then switch to a physical wall on his Infernape, which is now paralyzed, which is awesome because that's a fast Pokemon, and fast Pokemon deserve to be paralyzed. So he switches right back into his Elf because he wants to hit me with special attacks because this Gliscor is an awesome wall. I went for a Toxic, it missed, that sucks. Big deal. Move on. I'm predicting a special attack, so I could either go right back into Blissey or I could go into my Crest, and my Crest is awesome. It's pretty much what the team is based around, but I decided to go to Blissey and his Reflect wears off. So, my Bliss took a Grass Knot like a beast, and he's going to go right back into Registeel. He's probably going to try and set up Stealth Rocks, but there's nothing I can honestly do about that. And I kind of predicted him to switch out to Infernape, predicting a T-Wave here, so I decided to go for another S-Toss after the leftovers and everything. So that's what I do, and he actually does set up Stealth Rock like I initially predicted, so that's good. I guess I kind of predicted that and kind of didn't. So I decided to just screw it, just go for a T-Wave now, I want that thing slower, and he just decides to go Boom, which that's an interesting decision. I'm not sure why he'd blow up, that thing doesn't have very much attack, and Blissey's going to live it pretty easily, I guess. Like, it's not going to take a ton of damage, but, well, it is going to take a ton. Okay, my Bliss is pretty much dead. Never mind. That was a good play. And now he goes into Luke, and at this point, I'm just like, oh, crap. I may as well just see what this thing's going to do. This Bliss is condemned. It's dead. It T-waved something, it got a little bit of damage, but that didn't even matter, so that Bliss is pretty useless, actually. It just paralyzed his Infernape. So I go to my TTar, and my TTar is in here. I thought, like, it's scarfed, like I figured I'd be able to get a pretty good hit on. I always want to save my TTar for last because of the Sand Stream. I want to keep TTar and Gliscor alive because I just want to keep TTar for last because I don't want Sand, because I have a lot of pokes that are susceptible to Sand and don't have lefties. But I thought that would do a lot more. I thought that would take it to Sweeper really early, but unfortunately that's not how things worked out. So now I go into Gliscor, which is faster than his Luke anyway, so it's going to be able to EQ. That's what I decided to do. Like, I could have Toxic predicting a switch, but then if he stayed in and hits me with a special attack, my Gliscor is ruined, and my Gliscor is important, so I didn't want to risk it. But he switched out anyway, so that didn't matter. So his Elf is probably going to hit me with a special attack, so I go into my only special wall that I have left, and that's this Elf, or this Crest. And this Crest is awesome. It's what I based the team around. I think, man, Xerxes was a genius when he came up with this. I'm not going to take credit for coming up with this. I'm just going to, I made this team around it. So he sets up Reflect and then switches out to Infernape to dodge the burn, I guess. He might not have known it was coming. Like, it's not very common. So my Psycho Shift doesn't work, and I just decide to swap out. And in comes my Gliscor. Because I was predicting the bug attack, like the U-turn. So that U-turn Life Orb would have done a ton of damage to my Crest, and I can't have that. So in comes his Elf again, and that's probably going to scare me off again, because I don't want to take any kind of special attack with this Gliscor. It is a physical wall, and it sucks at taking special hits. So I just decided to go into Heatran because it's steel, and it's going to resist the Psychic. And that's what it does. It resists it quite well, actually. Like, only took about a third, maybe. So he has to switch, and he goes into Gengar, and I went for an Overheat, which would have taken out this Gengar, but his Reflect wears off, and I miss. So that really sucks, because now I have to waste my Scissor trying to kill this freaking thing. So he just went for a T-Bolt, and I don't know. I guess Heatran could have lived that, but I was predicting some kind of switch. I was thinking he would switch. And then I wasn't sure whether he'd switch on Scizor or not, so I just decided to Bullet Punch, because Bullet Punch is going to do more than Pursuit. Well, maybe not. But he would have been faster and he would have taken me out, so I had to. I had to Bullet Punch. So that's what I do, and he takes out my scissor, and I just decide to go into Crest to eat the T-Bolt, and I'm not sure if that Gengar is scarfed, but geez, it's only T-Bolted, so I'm not sure what it's doing. I'm not sure if it's specs. It could be anything at this point. Anything except lefties and Life Orb. So my Crest is in, and it's asleep, so I want to go for a Sleep Talk and try to hit the Psycho Shift. It's a 50-50 chance to hit the Psycho Shift on this Crest because its fourth move is Solar Beam, and Solar Beam is unable to be picked by Sleep Talk, so that's just genius, and it's awesome because you're going to hit that 50% chance 50% of the time. So, and usually because of Crest's amazing defenses, you're going to get 2 shots at it. So anyway, I was deciding whether or not I wanted to predict the switch and go for another Psycho Shift. I decided not to. I thought he'd go into an Infernape again, predicting that. So that's what he does, and I go into my Heatran, and I just decide to overheat and hope it hits this time, which fortunately it does. So critical hit, that was useless, but doesn't matter. So down goes this Ape. And this Heatran's pretty much fodder at this point because it's not going to be faster than very much, and I may as well save it for fodder and dodge the EQ, which is what I do, because I would have went to Crest anyway. So I got a Crest, and he's got a Metagross, and it's... I find out later that it's mixed, but, well, you'll see. So I decided to go for a Psycho Shift and try to get a burn, but unfortunately he switches into a guy that already has a status, so that's a good play by him to dodge that. So I'm not sure what he wants to do. I decide to stay in and just rest because I want to get some damage or some HP back, because Crest is pretty useless against the Life Orb U-turner, or a lefty's U-turner for that matter. So now it's not. It's going to be able to wall anything on his team at this point, and that's always good to have a dynamic wall on your team that can wall anything. I'm not sure why I went for a Sleep Talk there. He could have switched and could have made me broke Sleep Claws, but anyway, he decides to stay in, and this Luke is a pretty rare special set, so I wasn't exactly expecting that, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be able to put it to sleep anyway, because he's going to try and hit me with another Shadow Ball, but I'm just going to rest because I've been counting my turns of sleep, and you always sleep 2 turns on a rest. So I decide to just wake up, rest, and get all my HP back, and he doesn't have a guy asleep now, so I'm free to go for the Psycho Shift, and hope that I get him asleep again, because him being asleep is ultimate, because that Luke is honestly going to be able to sweep my team at this point without Scarf Tar. So I go into Heatran just to fodder it. I don't exactly need it at this point, so I knew he's going to Shadow Ball, and honestly switching out to it was just a waste. Like, this is just me wasting my Heatran. This didn't need to happen. This was a complete misplay. I should not have done that, so don't do that. That was a waste. But it kind of works out because I'm going to come in with my Crest. He's going to hit me with the Shadow Ball, or he's going to Calm Mind, actually, which kind of a misplay in my opinion, because he's already seen that I put it to sleep. So I get the Psycho Shift this time, luckily, because a +1 Shadow Ball would have rolled this Crest, giving me like one more shot, if that. So I get him asleep, and that's good. So I'm going to switch out here and go to my Gliscor, and I think he predicted that because he goes, well, he just stays in. So it doesn't even matter because I'm going to EQ here and, I don't know, try to get some damage. Like, he's going to go to his Elf, which is going to Levitate, and I guess I could have predicted that and went for a Toxic or something, but I just decided, screw it, and just Roost, get some damage back, because I had a free turn there. He was either going to stay asleep or switch out to a Levitator, which is what he did. So he goes for a Psychic here, and it misses because of my Sand Veil, which is awesome, because I get that Elf Toxic for free, and that is huge, 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 huge. So now my Gliscor absolutely can't stay in. It has to go away. So I go to Crest, because Crest is going to take a Psychic and only take like 20 damage, because Crest is broken as all hell. It even got a crit, and it barely did anything. So my options here are Rest or Rest. And he's probably going to kill me with a U-turn, so if he doesn't U-turn, then I'm fine, but he just U-turns and my Crest is down, so that sucks, and that's it. Like, it's 1 on 3, because his Gengar dies to entry. It's 1 on 3, him against my Gliscor, so let's see if Gliscor can pull it off. Gliscor comes in, takes its Stealth Rock, and in comes his Elf. I know I'm going to be able to Toxic Stall that thing out because it's Toxic and I have Roost. So he sets up a Reflect, and that's a big play there. Pay attention to that. His Reflect goes up, and I think he sets that up way, way too early. He should have done that on his last turn. But fortunately for me, he doesn't. And he hits me with a Psychic, I just Roost off. That's all I'm going to do. Just Roost, Roost, Roost. Get it Toxic to kill itself. And that Psychic missing first probably saved my buns here, because I wouldn't have gotten that Toxic off for free, because Gliscor would have taken probably half damage from that Psychic. So that miss was massive at this point. He goes for another Psychic, a Suicide Psychic, trying to get a crit or something like a Spec Death Drop, I don't know. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen, but he hasn't missed yet either. So the Sandstorm, he gets lefties, and he's dead. And I'm going to get my lefties, which is good. So he's down to 2 guys who are weak to EQ. One of them is even asleep. So in comes his Metagross. I'm just going to Roost because I know he still has Reflect up. If I went for an EQ there, I would have been at a lot less HP, and he would have taken next to no damage. So that was massive. Anyway, I decided to just Roost until his Reflect wears off, and he goes for a Mash here, and he actually hits, which is surprising, because it's like 70% because I have Sand Veil. And he actually gets the attack raise, so that's massive. And then the Reflect wears off, so I'm like, thank God his Mash raise is not going to matter. I'm going to be able to live 1 Mash for sure. And I hit him with an EQ, and it does just over half, so that Reflect wearing off when it did was perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And he actually misses the Mash the second time. That doesn't bother me too much. It's 70%. I do have Sand Veil. That's kind of part of my strategy. So I hit him with an EQ, takes him out. And honestly, at this point, it's game over. I win. That Mash win. I guess he could have gotten like a crit on Meteor Mash, but honestly, that's not much of a chance for him to win. So Gliscor comes through in the clutch and takes on 3 guys, Toxic Stalls 1, EQs 2 more, and just destroys his team. Look at that. Gliscor did as much as a Scarf TTar. What a beast. I love this Gliscor. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about after the battle, I may as well start that now. So pretty much, I just wanted to talk about where I'm going to take this channel in the future. So I have 2 series kind of lined up, kind of planned out. The first series is pretty much a Pokemon tutorial, where I'll go over like some of the mannerisms of battling like Scarfed. Like, not a lot of people know what Scarfed means. Like, I've gotten a lot of questions, just in general, like things. And I'm probably going to go over that, and it's probably going to be a large multi-part series. That's going to take a while for me to both film and produce and put up, so that's a plan. That's the plan so far. And the other series I wanted to do was a community team sort of thing, where I take comments from the videos that I put up and build a team based on that. Like, I'm probably going to do like the first comment on my next video names the lead or something, and then the top rated comment. And that's probably going to be a little series too. And then I'm going to build a team as I see fit and try to succeed as well as I can with it. So just 2 interesting things that I thought of that I kind of want to do. So that's what we're going to do. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. And I guess I'm going to start the community team next video, and then I'll start the Pokemon tutorial, where I'm going to go over a bunch of things. So stay tuned for all those, and thanks for watching. So see you guys later.